Well, you can imagine what the radio shows were like today. A lot to talk about. Matt Dery's here from the New Detroit Sports 105.1. Mike Stone is here from 97.1 The Ticket. You didn't have the benefit of the hire being done when you were on the air, but your phone lines must have lit up at 12:20 when this news came down.
What time is it now?
Your initial reaction to what came down today.
You know, Tom, I think Stoney and I are sort of in lockstep, using an old bit phrase today about this, is that I'm underwhelmed. I'm not excited. This was supposed to be the job, the hire, the flashy, you know, the new Lions. You know, there's 7 openings. This was the best one. And to come out with Jim Caldwell, I'm underwhelmed, to be honest with you.
Tom Lewan was right. When they fired Jim Schwartz, he said this is not about winning the press conference. They lost the press conference. The press conference won't be till tomorrow. Matt's right. Underwhelming is a great word. He's okay. He's just a guy. Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl and lost. Yes, he's got a couple of rings as coordinators, but what he did with Baltimore's offense this past season, his college resume, which I don't put a lot of stock into, is not very good. He did a good job as the head coach of the Colts. I mean, talk about Peyton Manning. He got hurt and they went bad, and he helped Peyton Manning when they went 14-0, and then they didn't play the start. I think that was more Polian than Caldwell. But the thing that bothers me the most, and you probably shouldn't just pick out one game, but that whole time management thing in the playoff game against the Jets.
He did it against Jacksonville earlier in the season, in that same year in 2010. His game management has never been, I guess, great. And in talking to some people on the air today, a talk show host in Indianapolis said that the fans there laughed at the way that he managed the clock sometimes. But most people you talk to in the sport say he's a good coach and will be a good fit. Remains to be seen. But I'm with Stoney. When you're being told that this was the gig, that was the gig of the 7 openings, and Houston moves quickly to get O'Brien, and Tampa, they wanted Lovey, they got Lovey. The Lions wanted Wiz, they get Jim Caldwell.
Now, I remember after the Giants loss, you were very aggressive about the fact that they should have made a move right then.
Yes.
If they had done that, then of course Lovie Smith might be in the mix because he went very quickly in this offseason.
I think Lovie Smith was going to Tampa no matter what. I think that's his home, and I think that was the fit. He had been in Tampa before. But yes, Tom, I mean, Stoney, to me, if you would have canned him after the Giants game when Schwartz should have been fired, because the season was over, then you do move faster. Then you do find out, is Bill O'Brien locked into Houston or not?
But they could have done that stuff if they were competent without firing Schwartz, just done it anyway.
No, but hey, to show your fans that we're not accepting mediocrity, and that was the official end of the season. Right. This whole last week, and then even to wait until the noon on Monday, where it was sort of like, is he going to stay or not? And Schefter was thinking, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Well, look, I wish I could like it, but I don't.
Look what the Texans did with Gary Kubiak. They made up their mind, and they made a move in the middle of the season, and they were quick to get Bill O'Brien. Now, the bigger issue is when you knew that Whisenhunt was off the table, and this I'm sure you guys talked about a lot, put the brakes on a little bit. Let's talk to some more people. Maybe wait out at Josh McDaniels and try to convince him to be a head coach, or talk to Roman, or talk to Quinn, or talk to the Broncos offensive coordinator.
Darrell Bevel, Adam Gase, there are a lot of guys. Once they didn't get Wiz, you're right. And we said it today. I don't want to have an announcement for the next few days. I want to wait till after the week's end. Because let me ask you this. Who else was in line to hire Jim Caldwell?
I don't see anybody.
Exactly. That's the point. There was no rush to do it. Now we're also finding out that maybe money had a little bit to do with the fact that they didn't get Whisenhunt. Reported that Tennessee's paying $1 million a year more than the Lions had offered, if that's true.
And you might have also seen some conflict as it related to a 4-3 defense versus a 3-4 defense. What kind of involvement in personnel decisions did Ken Whisenhunt want? I'm dying to know how the Lions are going to play this off tomorrow, because the top question, you feel bad for Jim Caldwell, is going to be like, what happened with Whisenhunt?
But they're not going to answer that question.
This is going to be like the Phil Garner press conference when he got hired by the Tigers.
Oh, it's good stuff with Joe Falls.
There'll be some hostility there tomorrow.
I mean, I just don't, right, tomorrow should be about Jim Caldwell. Unfortunately, it won't be, but that's their doing.
Exactly.
They're the ones that made those choices. They chose to keep Schwartz an extra week. They chose to give Jimmy Handshake 2 more years at $6 million per. If they got to pay him off another 12 for the next 2, maybe Whisenhunt moves up money-wise in Tennessee and says, ooh, they're a little bit short on dough. Then that hurts, but that's the choice they made.
Here's the good news out of all this. At least from my perspective, is I thought Schwartz was a good hire at the time. Most people did. He was one of the most qualified coordinators.
You like every hire.
No, I don't. Okay, Mariucci, everybody liked. All right, and they didn't work out. The Lions have tried everything, and nothing's worked. Now they're actually trying something they've never tried before. An African American. Maybe that'll work.
You hope so.
A white mayor or black head coach of the Detroit Lions. Times are changing. Hopefully it's good news for all parties involved. Exactly. That's Matt Dery. That's Mike Stone, the New Detroit Sports 105.1, and of course 97.1 The Ticket, each morning, Monday to Friday. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.